Welcome to Understand All. I'm your host, Aslekeir Gairleif, and today we're embarking on a thrilling journey into the heart of one of nature's most awe-inspiring phenomena, Firenadoes. Buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. Imagine a swirling vortex of flames reaching hundreds of feet into the sky, roaring with the intensity of a jet engine. That's a firenado for you. But what exactly are these fire-breathing monsters? Firenadoes, also known as fire tornadoes, are a rare and extreme weather event that occur during intense wildfires. They form when the scorching heat from a wildfire combines with strong winds and unstable atmospheric conditions, creating a perfect storm of fire and fury. Now you might be thinking, how hot can these infernos really get? Well, according to National Geographic, the core of a firenado can reach a staggering 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt aluminum. And if the heat wasn't enough, these flaming twisters can whip up winds faster than a race car, with speeds exceeding 140 miles per hour. That's equivalent to an EF3 tornado, as reported by the National Weather Service. But it's not just about the heat and the speed. Firenadoes are a sight to behold, and a terrifying one at that. Picture a towering column of flames, spinning and dancing like a demonic ballerina. These fire devils can grow hundreds of feet tall, with some historical accounts describing firenadoes over 1,000 feet in height. It's like something straight out of a disaster movie, but this is real life. So how do these hellish vortexes form? It all starts with an intense wildfire. As the flames consume vegetation and other fuel sources, they generate a massive amount of heat. This scorching air rises rapidly, creating an updraft. Meanwhile, the surrounding cooler air rushes in to replace it, forming a circulation pattern. As this process intensifies, the updraft begins to rotate, and voila! A firenado is born. But the birth of a firenado is just the beginning of the chaos. These spinning towers of fire can wreak havoc on the wildfire itself, intensifying the blaze and making it even harder to control. Firenadoes can pick up burning debris and carry it far from the main fire, sparking new blazes in their wake. They can also create unpredictable and dangerous conditions for firefighters who are already risking their lives to contain the inferno. In fact, firenadoes have been responsible for some of the most destructive and deadly wildfires in history. Take the 2018 Car Fire in California, for example. This devastating blaze spawned a firenado that reached wind speeds of 143 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. The vortex claimed the life of a brave firefighter and forced the evacuation of hundreds of residents. It was a stark reminder of the raw power and fury of nature. But here's the thing. Firenadoes aren't just a freak occurrence. They're becoming more common, and climate change is partly to blame. As our world gets hotter and drier, the conditions that give rise to these flaming twisters are becoming more frequent. A study published in the journal Science Advances found that the frequency of extreme wildfire weather conditions has increased by 50% in some parts of the world since the 1970s. And with more extreme wildfires comes a higher likelihood of firenadoes. It's not just the immediate danger that's concerning either. Firenadoes can have long-lasting impacts on the environment and ecosystems. The intense heat and destructive winds can completely alter the landscape, leaving behind a charred and barren wasteland. Recovery can take years, even decades, and some areas may never fully return to their pre-fire state. So, what can we do in the face of this growing threat? Well, the first step is understanding. Scientists and researchers are working tirelessly to better predict and detect firenadoes, using advanced radar technology and computer modeling. The more we know about these beasts, the better equipped we'll be to fight them. But it's not just about the technology. It's also about preparedness and adaptation. As the risk of firenadoes increases, communities in fire-prone areas need to have robust evacuation plans and emergency response strategies in place. Firefighters need to be trained in the unique challenges posed by these flaming vortexes, and they need the right tools and resources to tackle them head-on. And let's not forget about prevention. While we can't stop wildfires from happening altogether, we can take steps to reduce their frequency and intensity. This means better forest management practices, like controlled burns and thinning of dense vegetation. It also means addressing the root causes of climate change, like reducing greenhouse gas emissions and investing in clean energy. But here's the thing. We can't just sit back and wait for someone else to solve this problem. We all have a role to play in protecting our communities and our planet from the ravages of firenadoes and other extreme weather events. It starts with education and awareness. By understanding the science behind these phenomena and the risks they pose, we can make informed decisions and take action to mitigate their impact. It also means being prepared. If you live in an area prone to wildfires, make sure you have an emergency plan in place. Know your evacuation routes, have a go bag ready, and stay informed about local weather conditions and fire alerts. And if you see a firenado, don't try to be a hero. Get to safety immediately and let the professionals handle it. But perhaps most importantly, we need to come together as a global community to address the underlying causes of these extreme events. Climate change is real, and it's happening right now. We need to take bold, decisive action to reduce our carbon footprint and build a more sustainable future for ourselves and for generations to come. It won't be easy, but the alternative is far worse. So, as we wrap up this wild ride through the world of Firenadoes, let's take a moment to reflect on the awesome power and beauty of nature, even in its most destructive forms. These flaming twisters may be terrifying, but they're also a reminder of the delicate balance that exists on our planet and the responsibility we have to protect it. In the face of such overwhelming forces, it's easy to feel small and helpless. But remember, every action counts. Every choice we make, every step we take towards a more sustainable and resilient future, brings us one step closer to a world where firenadoes are a thing of the past. So let's get to work. Let's educate ourselves, prepare our communities, and fight for the change we need. Because when we come together, there's nothing we can't achieve. Not even taming the wild and untamed fury of a firenado. And that's our cue to sign off for today. Thanks for joining me on this thrilling journey into the heart of one of nature's most awe-inspiring and terrifying phenomena. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there. This is Aslekeir Gairleif signing off from Understand All.